Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Rotoroo.com with your morning horn is the easiest sip of chaga coffee. All right, big day today. I'm talking with Jean-Claude, Meg and Julie over at Jean-Claude's channel on Rumble. You got to be on Rumble because we want to say what we want. We don't want to be working within too much of a matrix. It's called The Great $600 Silver Timeline Decoded. Should be fun. Should be very fun. So go check that out. We'll be talking psychic stuff and astrological stuff and tarot stuff. You name it, we're going to talk about it. So go check that out. That is today, June 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. So for me right now, it's a couple hours away. So I got to get this done quick. But I am livid again. I'm livid again. I posted part two of my discussion with the U.S. Mint. It's called, the series is called The U.S. Mint and the Silver Eagle Conspiracy. Part 2 is Sourcing Silver Blanks and Senior Management Roadblocks. I am finding law after law after law that the U.S. Mint has purposefully decided to break. Purposefully. As a matter of fact, they even talked to the head of Silver Eagle Sales and said, what can we get away with? Literally, they said, we don't want to make Silver Eagles. What can we get away with? How can we get away with a law that's already on the books is what they asked them. What can we get away with? It is insane what they're trying to get away with. And here's, I was livid yesterday, and here's why. Part of the discussion we had yesterday was that by law, the U.S. Mint is not supposed to charge any premium on the Bullion Silver Eagle program. Zero premium. And on the gold, zero premium. So they are pass-through costs. They're supposed to charge what it costs them to make. That's why I've been screaming. There is no limit on the amount of silver blanks you can get your hands on. There's no limit. You just have to pay more, as the law says. Here's my question to you. How many Silver Eagles would you have bought in the last 3 years if the markup was only $3 or $4? You would load the frick up, wouldn't you? I know a lot of very rich millionaires and billionaires who can't get the kind of eagles they want. So what is the real demand for eagles? Well, the U.S. Mint head of sales says it's somewhere between 30 to 40 million ounces per year. And he told his senior management, and where else would Janet Yellen go to find out what the demand for it is in her determination whether or not to make Silver Eagles? Right? It's breaking the law. So, here's why I'm mad. I got this in the mail the other day. United States Mint 2023 Collector's Guide. What my guy at the Mint was saying is, hey, they're putting all the chips on the collector's silver and gold coins because they make the most money there. It's a business decision. What? The United States Mint was not set up to make money. That's fleecing the customers. And they have a gigantic expanded guide to how to fleece the American citizen right here. Have you seen what they charge for these coins? Just go, it is insane. Look at, we'll go to silver coins. $76 an ounce. $76 an ounce. Proof sets, $130. This is insane what they're charging people. They're doubling and tripling. This is triple the price of silver. And that's what my guy was saying. They're putting all their energy in all these new programs, massive amount of new programs, because that's where they make the most money. The U.S. Mint is not set up as a money-making venture. They make money because they are overcharging their customers massively. And they make money because they're lying to the people about what the law says. And the law is very specific for Silver Eagles. Right here. Here is the sale price. Here is codified in law. The law is number 31 U.S. Code 512. You go down to the Silver Eagle program. Notwithstanding any other provision of the law, the Secretary shall mint and issue in qualities and quantities that the Secretary determines are sufficient to meet public demand. We got that. We've been over this a million times. And the head of sales told Ventures Gibson and Janet Yellen that demand was 30 to 40 million ounces for the last couple of years, and yet they're only making under 15. Maybe under 20 this year because they just bumped it up. But listen to what they have to sell the bullion for. And it's very clear that there is no markup for bullion, for the bullion program. Silver coins, sale price. This is the law. The Secretary shall sell the coins minted under subsection E to the public at a price equal to, not a price picked at random, a price equal to the market value of the bullion at the time of sale, because they buy Comex bars and take delivery. Plus the cost of minting, that's the Sunshine Mint. They deliver the bars to the Sunshine Mint. Marketing, this crappy publication right here, and distributing such coins, including labor, materials, dyes, use of machinery, and promotional and overhead expenses. Just overhead expenses. Nothing beyond that. All that stuff is equal to that. This is a formula to figure out what to sell the Silver Eagles at. And how do we know that the U.S. Mint has been selling Silver Eagles at a profit? They tell us, of course. This is the 2002 annual report right here. The Mint's bullion program, which is the Gold and Silver Eagle bullion program, had a particularly strong year, generating $3.7 billion in revenue and $81.9 million in net earnings. That is illegal. Ventures Gibson, that is illegal, and they know it. When are these people going to stop? When enough people scream at them. It is illegal to sell Silver Eagles at a markup. So many laws, in my conversation with the Mint, so many laws were literally admitted to being broken. And the majority of this happened when Ventures Gibson came in, who takes her marching orders from Janet Yellen directly, who takes her marching orders from the banks and the Democrats. The first thing that Ventures Gibson went in and did was try to stop the Silver Eagle production. First thing, because that's the first thing on Janet Yellen's list. How do we save the world economically and ease into a socialist society? We got to stop silver. Silver's the bank killer. So that's what they did. And it's right here. They last year in 2022, they made $81.9 million. And you go back and in other years, they made money on the bullion program, which is by law, by definition, 31 Code 512, by definition, they are not allowed to mark up Silver Eagles. Now you might say, well, the big markup is happening at the authorized participants or authorized purchasers level. Absolutely. And I talked to him, my contact, the head of sales for Silver Eagles, I talked to him about that as well. And I said, hey, if you were making coins in quantities to meet demand, they couldn't mark up anything. They'd all be competing with each other. Now they're competing not to get rid of them because they make too much money on them. 100% because Ventures Gibson and Janet Yellen and senior management at the Mint made the conscious decision on day one to stop the Silver Eagle program as best they can without anybody hearing. How much can we get away with? They asked him. How much can we get away with? It's like talking to a bank robber. Say, hey, how much can I steal from the bank and get away with it? If I steal all of it, they'll come after me. If I steal just maybe $500,000, they might not come after me as hard. That's exactly what the U.S. Mint was asking the head of sales. How much can we get away with? How much of this law can we break to get away with so that the people don't jump up and down? It is absolutely insane. Here's the chart from 1980 to today, the 70s to today. This is the price chart. What happened in 1980 is there was an intraday spike to right near $50. I think it was still 49. And in 2011, I remember it was May 1st, a Sunday, when they slammed the price down. It went to $49. So when 49 is broken, then it's all hell breaks loose. Then there's so many losses, the COMEX shuts down. We don't know the price of silver. That's part of my discussion today. There you go. There's your conclusion. Will we see $600 silver? Not on the COMEX, not on the news. The COMEX would be shut down. Why? Because the loss would be so massive for the other end of the derivative trade. Remember, COMEX is futures and options trading. Imagine all the shorts in there taking losses in the, what would it be? Losses of $575 per ounce of silver that they have a short on. Wow. Not many banks can survive that. So, all right. Yeah, this book is an embarrassment. I got it. And we talked about the mint focusing on the numismatics. And it's, by the way, it's no excuse for what's happening on the bullion side. Because, I mean, this doesn't take a lot of silver, this crap. Because no one can buy it. They charge triple the price. The mint is completely screwed up. I think, truthfully, if they sold Silver Eagles today at what they're supposed to sell it to, and the authorized purchasers do what they used to do, beg and steal for 10 or 15 cents an ounce, we would see Silver Eagles sales easily above 50 million, probably above 100 million at this point in time, because they wouldn't. I mean, I know a couple purchasers that would get us close, and I know everybody out there listening to this, if you've bought any silver at all, raise your hand right now if you would buy Silver Eagles at $3.50 over spot. How about $3 over spot? Which is, he was saying the cost is only $2.50 over spot, plus the markup. 50. How about $2.75 over spot? I would be buying every Silver Eagle there was, and I did back in the day when they were priced that way. People are just now used to the Silver Eagles being so out of touch. Another thing I hadn't thought about, I did think about it last night, is if there is a conspiracy theory truth fact that the U.S. Mint is making silver and gold eagles behind the scenes and just not selling them to the public, if that is true, what this huge premium is doing also is pulling back Silver Eagles from the ones that are already, because you can sell it back for, $7, $8 over spot, a Silver Eagle these days. So who is buying at the $15? Who doesn't care about money necessarily? How about the U.S. Mint? How about the U.S. Mint buying back the Silver Eagles that are out there? Serendipitously. I don't know what that word is. Have you thought of that? If they were withdrawing Silver Eagles from the total population, and if they do plan on going back onto a gold-silver standard, it might actually make sense that they do that. Because you're going to have, the big thing about this transition, they want no winners. And you can't have a situation where the world blows up and there's no winners. There's going to be winners and losers, but they want as few as possible. No, I am not selling my Eagles. And I don't recommend to anybody. I also don't recommend people to buy it. I like it because it is the money of the United States of America. When this government goes away, and it will, what do we have? Will there be no Janet Yellen, no Ventures Gibson? We'll have a constitution that says gold and silver are money. That's what we'll have left when this criminal government is gone. So, yeah, I can't advise you what to do with Silver Eagles right now. Clearly, they made a notch in the bottom for some identifier, although the guy at the Mint, the head of sales, didn't know what the notch was for. How could the head of sales not know what the most important change in the Silver Eagle, the head of Silver, for 35 years, the head of Silver Eagle sales did not know what the notch was for. Oh, it's a security notch. Well, that doesn't help. I can take a file to any Silver Eagle and scrape off two little reeds. It is very complicated, but there's clearly laws being broken. Speaking of that, SEC charges Coinbase, alleges crypto platform operated as unregistered exchange since 1909. Yeah, like I said, get your assets in your own possession. Will they take out Coinbase like they took out Mt. Gox? How long has it been in Mt. Gox? Almost, 8, 9 years since it went belly up? 7, 8, 9 years? They still haven't completed the bankruptcy, believe it or not. So if you have your coins in Coinbase, you better get them the hell out of there. Or you'll be waiting on getting your pennies on the dollar for 8, 9 years. They're going to shut down Coinbase. As a matter of fact, the CFTC just tomorrow is holding a meeting on just that. The final rule of governance for derivatives clearing organizations. Does Coinbase deal in derivatives? Absolutely. Are they a clearinghouse for them? Technical unknown. But if the SEC is going to hold them to the fire when it comes to these are securities and you're running an illegal operation, they're not going to let you get your coins out. They're not going to say, okay, we're shutting you down, Coinbase. Everybody, you have 2 days to get your coins out. No. They're going to shut them down. And it's going to be part of the bankruptcy. And you won't get your money back for a decade, and you only get pennies on the dollar because they're going to use all those cryptos to suppress the price like they did with the Mt. Gox bankruptcy. But look what else. I mean, having this come out, this big meeting tomorrow, look at the things they're talking about. Derivatives clearing organizations, recovery and orderly wind down plans. Okay, what's the urgency to have this meeting? I mean, they literally announced it last week. What's the urgency? Clearing organizations, recovery, and orderly wind down. And then the proposed rule, amendments to Part 17 of the large trader reporting requirements. So you're going to see large traders going down. You're going to see exchanges going down. You're going to see the derivative bubble popping. And that's exactly what's going on. And the CFT is getting ready for it. Although I don't think the CFTC and the SEC are going to be around after the crash. I really don't. So I've been messing with the Chat GPT, Open AI, artificial intelligence, and I wanted to get what is the overall take? Yes, it's biased. It's not massively, but kind of, yeah, it is. But some of the more factual stuff I wanted to check into. Like for a long time, I've been saying the beginning of silver manipulation began during the Opium Wars in the 1850s. England was losing all its silver prior to that because China only accepted silver for payment. And so all the teas and silks and spices that were coming from China to England, all the silver was flowing out of England. That was a huge problem. So they created this entity called Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, HSBC, to get the people of China addicted to opium and make them pay for it with silver to get the silver flowing back to England. So I asked the OpenAI, ChatGPT, I said, what was the Opium Wars fought over? Because I've been regurgitating this for a long time. And it made sense to me. I did some research on it long ago. But this is the official answer. The Opium Wars were a series of conflicts fought between China and the Western powers in the 19th century. The wars were primarily fought over the issue of the opium trade. During this time, the British East India Company was exporting large quantities of opium grown in India to China. The Chinese government, concerned about the social and economic impact of widespread opium addiction among its population, attempted to suppress the trade and enforce a ban on opium imports. However, the British and Western powers, particularly Britain, were determined to protect their lucrative opium trade. And it talks about the first Opium War from 1839 to 1942, and the second Opium War, which is when the U.S., I think that's when they got Hong Kong. No, the first war the British got Hong Kong for that. The second war was 1856 to 1860. But in this answer, it didn't say a thing about silver. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought that was the big thing. Why isn't OpenAI talking about it. And then it ended up, overall, the Opium Wars were fought over the conflicting interests of the British and other Western powers seeking to maintain and expand their opium trade, while the Chinese government sought to suppress the trade and protect its population from the damaging effects of opium addiction. It doesn't say a word about silver, so I asked again, hey, Mr. AI, I said, but wasn't the real reason the silver that was used to buy opium? And here was the answer. And it's completely different than the first one. While the opium trade played a significant role in the Opium Wars, it is true that the issue of silver was also a factor in the conflicts. China had a strict policy of only accepting silver as payment for its goods, which created a trade imbalance with Western nations. The British East India Company, among with others is HSBC, was exporting opium to China, which created a demand for silver from the Chinese merchants who needed it to pay for the opium. This led to a significant outflow of silver from China to British traders. The Chinese government was concerned about the depletion of silver reserves and the negative impact it had on their economy. To address this issue, the Chinese government attempted to suppress the opium trade and stem the flow of silver out of the country. However, the British and the Western powers were unwilling to give up their profitable trade in opium. While the primary catalyst for the Opium Wars was the opium trade, the issue of silver and the trade imbalance certainly added to the tensions between China and Western powers. The wars were a result of a complex economic, political, and social factors, with the opium trade and silver playing intertwined roles in the conflict. Why didn't ChatGPT say silver in the beginning? It's such a gigantic part of the story. Another conspiracy, great. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Again, today at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time, the $600 silver timeline. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff on this, and the astrological stuff and the woo-woo stuff. Lots of woo-woo going to go on in this. Come check us out live. This is being recorded live at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So go over there, and there's a chat room. You can mess around in the chat room and ask questions. All right? So, yeah, again, private road members, I posted part 1 and part 2, and the final part 3, will come very soon, probably tomorrow. I'm just breaking it down. I'm not editing it other than personal information, which is only at the beginning. So I'm not editing it. It is the actual conversation between myself and the head of Silver Eagle Sales. Really amazing discussion. Go check that out at roadtoroot.com to subscribe to the private road and get that interview. Go to subscribe today, and we will send you 1 Silver Root of Lives coin with every renewal or membership. So check it out. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.